Hello, it says welcome back to my channel, or if you are new here, then just welcome. Hi, my name is Brenda. I do paranormal videos here on my channel, so if that is something that you are interested in, please consider subscribing down below and turn on your post notifications so you do not miss when I post another video like this one. Now, with all of that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into today's video. Alright, hello lovely people, welcome back to another Spooktober video. I am so excited to be here again for some more spooky stories that will really get us into that Halloween spirit as it slowly approaches us, and we are all scrambling to make sure that we have done all of the spooky things there is to do, because it feels like there is never enough time for the spooky season. It's like everybody wants to jump right into Christmas, and I'm like, I'm not ready for that. I want to enjoy the spookiness of everything. So I hope that my videos have been helping you get into the spooky spirit, spooky mode, I don't know what you want to call it, and in the spirit of Halloween, you know? Ooh, I don't know, I'm out of breath all the time, but as you guys know, I've been wearing all of my spooky shirts for all of these Halloween or October videos because I didn't have time to put any costumes together. You guys have heard me say this the last few videos, but anyway, let me show you guys which one I'm wearing today. It's another Halloween shirt, like the movie Halloween. And let me try my best to stand up here 1 second. Alright. Not the best view of my shirt, but you know, I try my best. Okay, I know that you guys don't care about that. You guys wanted me to get right into the freaking video. No, I know some of you guys probably really enjoy seeing what kinds of Halloween shirts I have. I have a lot. I have a lot of t-shirts. I am a t-shirt holic. I have way too many of all kinds of different things that I like. Anyway, let's get into the nitty-gritty. We are going to be reading some more scary stories from Reddit, which I really enjoyed doing last time because there's some really creepy stories out there, and this is gonna be about just scary incidents in general. Like, they don't have to be paranormal, because I mean, you know, life in general, there's a lot of scary things that can happen, and people have had a lot of very crazy things happen in their life that they either can't explain or they never got closure to, and so on and so forth. So we're gonna do a few here. I don't know what that was. And we're gonna read off of Reddit, and as usual, I will try to credit the people who wrote these stories. It's their own stories, and I want to make sure that they know that I'm just using these to make these little videos, and that you guys get to enjoy and people get to hear about. Some of these are written from like years ago. I'm talking like more than 11 years, or 5 years, 9 years. Some of the users are deleted, but I try my best just to make sure that people know who stories these belong to. Of course, they're not mine. They're off of Reddit, which is a public platform. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's get into the first story. It says, a few years ago, I was home alone at nighttime. I was watching TV in the living room when I heard the doorbell ring. Whenever I hear the doorbell ring, especially when I'm home alone, I am cautious to answer it. I walk up to the peephole without turning on the porch light, so they don't know if anyone is actually home or not. And I look through. It's really dark, but I can see a small figure, more like a black bob. I don't know its definite shape, and had to be around 3 to 4 feet tall, doing like a dancing motion, dipping down and oscillating its arms outward. Is that how you say that word? I don't know. Think of a person moving their arms like wings gracefully. It was dark outside, but this figure was more opaque, so I could see this going on. After a few seconds, I stopped looking through the peephole because it was too freaky to look at. I regained some courage and looked back through, and whatever it was gone. To this day, I still don't know what that was, and I get freaked out thinking about it. And of course, now I don't want to look through peepholes even more. I already get super creeped out looking at peepholes, because there's so many movies where they give me a jump scare with peepholes that now I'm like traumatized. And any time that the doorbell rings, my body takes a screenshot And I'm always like, I'm not expecting anybody. Why are they knocking? It's usually Amazon. And I'm like, oh yay, my package is here, so it's all fine and dandy afterwards. But I've never had anything scary like this happen. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the second story. This one says, my ex-wife had several weird experiences. I'll just relate this one. I'm at work one day when she calls me out of the blue. We were still married at the time. She usually did not call me during the day because she worked the night shift. She tells me to call my friend Danny and make sure he and his family are okay. When I ask why, she tells me that she had a dream but can't remember it, but that I should call Danny and make sure he's okay. So I call Danny and check in with him. I tell him about my wife's dream. He's mildly amused but tells me that he and his family are fine and to thank my wife for her concern. I call her back and let her know all is well. She's very dubious when she hears the news. I find out later that within half an hour of my phone call to Danny, he got another call from his uncle in Florida to tell him that Danny's son had hanged himself. What? Oh my God. Can you imagine? That's like, oh my God, the trauma. Jesus Christ. What was his son visiting his uncle in Florida? That's what I'd like to. Oh my God, that's so sad and so terrifying. And of course, Danny wasn't gonna know about that until he got the call. Wow. And I've had so many dreams where I think about something, and then like 2 out of 5 times, it ends up being something, I guess, that I subconsciously thought about, and then it actually happened like later in the future. And I'm kind of like, yeah, I should have known. I had a dream about this, which is really crazy that she actually went on to like tell you to call him, even though it was just a dream, something that doesn't really make sense half the time. And she didn't even remember what the dream was about either. That's so crazy. But that's so sad. He lost somebody. Okay, so now on to third story, right? This one says, there's an abandoned house next to mine. The previous owner moved out to California 25 years prior and never sold it. I got a flashlight, gloves, and pushed the window open and went inside. Starting with the basement. In the basement was a grand piano, still plays very much out of tune. Old World War II stuff, what seemed to be a signed Elvis poster, some other really cool shit no one should ever leave behind. And there's basically a whole story in the basement, including a broken wedding picture frame and instruments everywhere. On the main floor was an unmade bed, molded food still in the fridge and on the stovetop. Half-empty beers turned solid, lights that still hadn't been turned off. Then I started walking upstairs when I heard crying from one of the side rooms. That's when I freaked the fuck out and haven't been there since. Okay, this all would be very scary, but you gotta think of the possibilities. You gotta like rationalize in your head so you don't get scared. I would just thought it was some kind of squatter just living there. But why were they crying? And why is there so much noise coming from outside of my door? I don't know what's going on out there. There could be a whole tornado out there. I wouldn't know. Got my headphones in. I'm listening to my own voice. But yeah, that'd be so freaking scary. Just hearing. And then the other thing that immediately came to my head was that somebody was being held there. Kidnapped in the basement. But I mean, if he got in so easily, why would they not been able to get out? I guess you would be too scared. I gotta think about that. I'm always thinking like, oh, did you just escape? But it's not always that easy, especially if they threaten you with like, your whole family. People don't always run away. But very eerie story nonetheless, because who knows what that was. I would not have stuck around either to find out. So kudos to him. Okay, so fourth story. This one says, alrighty, this is the late 80s / early 90s. I was around 6 to 7 years old. I am at home with my sister, who is 14 to 15 at the time. We grew up in a small Texas town. Everyone knows everybody. We are home alone this particular night, and my folks let my sister babysit me frequently. We always got along due to our age gap. Anyway, it is about 8 p.m. in the winter. Deserts get pretty damn cold. So it is dark and we are in the common room, since that is where the TV was. Watching 60 Minutes or 48 Hours or Hard Copy or some shit. Those 1-hour news pieces on CBS that chronicle large crimes in depth. Trafficking, murders, kidnappings, and the like. Basically a gritty Lifetime special. This one was a typical story. Guy next door that was quiet went on a rampage in his next door neighbor's house, mutilating them and kidnapping their young daughter. Well, the thing about our house common room is the door leading to the backyard was a large glass door, on a wall of floor-to-ceiling windows. Nothing but blackness beyond it unless you have the backlight on. We did not. The front door is on the other side of the room with a small entryway. This is a solid door. You cannot see what is beyond it, with a glass storm door on the outside of it. About 45 minutes into the show, they are talking about the ongoing manhunt for this crazy guy, and bam, 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 front door bangs like crazy. We jump the fuck up and scream like banshees. Dead silence now. The only lights on in the house are the kitchen down the hall from the common room we were in, and the light from the TV. We start thinking something on the porch, we had some planters and a rocking chair out there, had simply blown against the door. This was West Texas, crazy strong winds out that way. Well, a minute or two of silence and us holding each other post-adrenaline overdose passes. Just when we are about to declare everything is safe, we hear the storm door on the outside of the front door close. Fuck. Someone had to have opened that door to be able to bang on the front door like that. Shit. We are both frozen in the middle of the room on the floor where we had been watching TV. My sister crawls over to the TV and turns it off. It was an old TV, so you had to turn that metal dial to switch it off, which it does with a mildly loud thunk. Now, it is just us in a room dimly lit by the kitchen light down the hall. I do not remember how much time passed with my frozen and my sister still crouched by the now off TV, but we kept making eye contact then looking at the front door. I remember this part vividly. I am on my knees, sitting on my feet, and I turn to look at the back wall of windows and glass door. We hear and I see the back door knob turn. It was locked on the knob, but not deadbolted. It rattles slightly as if someone is gently trying the handle. Neither of us make a sound, just hold our breath. Then, bam, bam, bam. Loud as hell, someone is trying to force the door open, just jerking it back and forth. The whole wall of windows is vibrating violently, and I can see with each jerk of the door how my slight reflection gets fuzzy, then clear, then fuzzy. My sister flips her shit and screams bloody murder. I am still frozen on the floor. She gets up and basically drags me into her bedroom, slams the door, throws her mattress and anything she can in front of her door. Thankfully, she had remembered the phone. One of those ungodly, heavy, beige, plastic long, metal antenna portable phones. We still had to direct dial the sheriff there, and in her panic, didn't remember the number. She just hit redial on the phone. It was one of her friends, and she tells them in broken gas that someone is trying to get into our house and needs to get there right fucking now. The profanity sticks out here more than anything else. Who knows, young brain. I am curled up on the floor and cannot stop shaking. We don't hear anything else until we see the headlights of my sister's friend and her parents driving up to the house. We never did find out who was at the door or why. There were no signs of anything happening but a couple of scuff marks on the bottom of the back door that we could not remember if they were there beforehand or not. Nothing like that has happened to me or her since, but for damn sure we never forget to lock a door after that. Oh my god. Dude, remind me to never be alone and not own a house, which I mean, in this economy, I don't think I ever will, but if I did own a house, I need to be able to see everything. Like, I don't like the idea of, of not being able to see my space. Just a random thing I wanted to add in there. But just being home alone, what would you even do? If that started to happen, I get scared from people just knocking casually. I can't imagine having somebody like full on banging on your door and trying to open it. Like, that is so freaking terrifying. That's what I'm saying. Paranormal stuff is scary, of course, but sometimes these things that happen with like real life things, even scarier. But the thing about this is that they didn't even see any signs of somebody being there. Of course, if they weren't like tracking dirt or snow or anything like that, you can't really tell when somebody's been in the area anyway, especially if you have like concrete down or you just have grass and there's like no dirt or mud to leave footprints. It's kind of hard to tell whether somebody had actually been there or not. But if this was something just purely paranormal and it was like a one-time thing, I also wonder what would have led to that. What would have caused this paranormal activity to happen. Either way, I would have been on the floor crying, not knowing what to do. But the good thing she had her sister there to pull her into the room and like basically barricade themselves in the bedroom. Probably the smartest thing to do. Even if that person never made it inside the house, they could have tried to break those windows from the back door or something, worse. So it was a good idea to just go hide instead. That's what I would have done too. But yeah, guys, that is going to be the last story for today's video. I know, I'm sorry to leave you short here, but I hope that you enjoyed those stories. Let me know what your favorite one was and what would make you guys the most scared. Would it be actual people or paranormal people? Ghosts? I don't know what I'm saying. Oh my god, I've been filming all day. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. But I hope you guys enjoyed either way. All of the stories were really, really good. They were fun and very creepy and eerie. And if you did make it all the way to the end of this video, make sure to comment, leave a black heart in whatever comment you leave below. That way I know who stayed all the way to the end. Did I already say that? I'm not sure. But if you did, I really appreciate you and I love you so much, because not a lot of people stay all the way to this point in the video, and that means that me and you are besties. Yes. Okay, and also before I end the video, today's comment shout out goes to this person right here. Thank you so much for leaving a nice comment. As always, I really do appreciate it and it really makes my day. And if you want to be the next comment shout out, all you have to do is leave me a nice comment down below, and that's it. Guys, thank you again for watching. Hopefully I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to stay safe and be kind. Bye bye.